first thing I want to say is welcome to Talking to Fastlane, man. I'm really excited to have you on the show. Big fan.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here. It's great to be here.
So what I wanted to start with is I wanted to congratulate you on the new album. I mean, Creatures 2. Um, it's a great album. So what kind of reaction have you guys gotten from the fans? I'm sure it has to be huge.
Yeah, I think it's been really good so far. We were Most of the comments we read about are pretty people saying good things about the album. So we're really enjoying it. There's a lot of streams and YouTube views from the clips, the video clips too. So it's been really good. We really uh, very happy with the reaction.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear because it's good to, I obviously grew up in the 80s. I mean, I'm an 80s kid, guy, whatever you want to say. And
Mhm.
what I love about this is when I first heard this, I was an instant fan. It's one of those things that you listen to it and you tie back to those times. And what you guys did here is it's excellent because it has that good 80s vibe, but it has a nice, modernized production too. It sounds a lot larger and, you know, more robust than what it did back then.
Yeah, we worked with a guy here called Arthur. He's a really good producer. He's really rooted in the 80s too, but I think that the way he works, it gives that robust, like you said, production, and I think it's it. We really are very satisfied with the production too. So thank you.
Yeah, you guys did a great job. I'll tell you what. And when I listened to this, I listened to the album a couple times through and obviously, hearing your, the previous work that you guys did. I I like it, when I listen to let's talk about two of the videos. We'll talk about the two
Okay.
that you guys brought out, the Beware the Creatures and Devil in Disguise. And Devil in Disguise, I get that, that good like a Y&T vibe. It has that, nice driving sound. And with Creatures, you know, looking at the video, that song really matches, the video. I like the old school feel with the, the bar, the dark scene, and the obviously Mark turning into the creature and how that all worked out. Tell us about that, about the two videos and how that was, I mean, recording those for you guys. Both really cool,
Sure.
man.
Uh, Thank you. The first video we tried to give something more, the usual video clip, just the band playing and in a stage and cool live. I believe that aesthetic with the colors, the blue and violet, it's something that we brought into the band, and it's kind of one of our symbols. I don't know if that makes sense, but um, and the second one is we wanted to film like a movie. I was very inspired by movies like Trick or Treat and Black Roses. Don't know if you know this
Oh yeah.
movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a cool movie,
That
right?
is a cool
And
movie.
uh, and also some movies that are not so much into heavy metal too, like Lost Boys and 80s horror movies. That kind of
Right, right,
vibe.
right.
So immediately when I finished that song, Beware the Creatures, I listened to it and whoa, this this needed this needs a video, and I started to think about. I wrote a screenplay, and it ended up very good.
It is. It's really cool because it gives you that, the old school vibe and everything ties in. It's good to see, man, because you see, so many artists right now that are doing that, everything's just modernized but it's cool that you guys kind of brought that classic vintage style into it. And it
Yeah,
matches very well.
yeah, we like to do things we like to see and we like to hear. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. Let's put it this way. We just wanted to do things that we like in your own way.
Yeah, you guys definitely did it. Definitely did it.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the writing of this album. I have a list of favorites. I mean, when you listen from start to finish, it's a true album. I mean, it's not there's no filler in there. It's you could just throw it in and listen the whole way through multiple times. And so let's talk about the writing of it. And I look at the songs. I mean, I love the mix of the heavy and the melodic, and I think you tied that in very well. Songs like "Night of the Ritual," it has that nice heavy driving, "Danger," and then you have something that's kind of like a ballad. "Nothing Lasts Forever." And I like the way all that ties in because I think, um, you know, ballads are kind of missing, in the music nowadays. And I think you guys really captured, a lot here. Tell us about the writing of this album and some of these songs and how all this came together.
Yeah. So for this album, we wanted to do for the first album. It was something it was recorded almost as a solo project, so I didn't thought about no very much. But this time I wanted to do something more, let's say, professional. So I studied and learned a bit about music production, and so whenever an idea came to mind, it was a riff or a vocal melody or maybe part of the lyric. I don't know. I was able to record it here in my house in this exactly place here, and build a
Cool.
demo around it. So when I sent it to the band, it was like the full song, you know. Then I wrote all the songs and I sent this to them, and then they started to put their own thing into the song, which I think it's very important. And about what you were saying about ballads and stuff, I really like that dynamic thing, you know, like really cool riff, up in your face, and then you change it to some clean guitar arpeggios, some no, you go from here to here and then to here again. I like that.
Right.
I like that dynamics in songs, you know.
That's cool stuff. Yeah, I like that you said that because a lot of those songs, you think, they have that nice intro and then they build up and then they,
Yeah.
like, bounce around and this really has it all, man. When I look at it,
Mhm.
it said it's hard to pick a favorite song. I mean, I love like when you guys finish with Perfect Illusion. I mean,
Yeah.
you start here and then you finish here, and it's just like it's a journey. I mean, awesome, man. Just excellent job on this album. I love it.
Thank you.
Can't say enough. I really do. So when you write when you write a song, I know, is there a process that you have? Is it something to where you're saying, hey, I'm walking down the street and I think, hey, I found something here. What kind of
Uh,
starts a song for Creatures?
usually it comes from anywhere, you know. I sometimes I just playing guitar, and then an idea came to mind, and I start to build something around it. But sometimes I know I'm working, and then a vocal melody comes into my mind, and then I need to record it right now, because I believe it's all a matter of record it as soon as possible, because ideas came and go very quick, you know. So you got to record it before you forget it and
Right.
never
For sure.
remember it again. So I think usually it's natural, you know. It comes to mind, and then I record it and start to build something around it, and it's like it just flows, you know.
That's cool. And it's really, when you listen to this, when the listeners hear it, you hear, obviously the maturity of the band coming from the first work all the way up, which is excellent. I mean, that's obviously, progression. But the songs are very tight. They're very well written. They flow nicely. So I think that says a lot about you as a songwriter. I mean, it's like I said, it's good to hear, solid songs and meaningful songs too.
Sorry, I think the call cut out a bit.
Oh, I said it's good to hear, songs that are so well structured, but meaningful as well. I mean, when you hear that, that passion that you guys are bringing, to the songs. It's really
Yeah,
it really stands out.
we try to do. I try to do things that I really would like to hear. Things like I like in bands, and when I'm listening to music, I no, I like this and I like this, and I try to bring that to the songs I write.
Yeah, it is, man. Like it's a great album. How about the recording of this? I know you said you did, the writing and a lot of the stuff right there. Um, and in the recording, I mean, you have a vocalist like Mark, which I think is, he's fantastic. He's got a lot of range. He's got that nice high pitch. He reminds me a lot of Lizzie Borden, who I think is a fantastic vocalist. Tell us about the recording of this. When I know you said earlier you sent it to these guys, and working with a guy like Mark. I mean, as a songwriter, that has to give you a ton of freedom, to do pretty
Yeah,
much anything.
sure, sure. It helps me a lot with I know I can write something really hard to sing, and he will do it. So I have no problem with limitations and things. And he nailed it. We spent I believe 10 days into the studio recording vocals. It was really really how can I say, when you get so tired doing it, can you, what's the
Yeah, you
word?
get
Oh,
you get you get burned out.
yeah, I
It's
believe this is it, because in the end of it, we are just, oh, I can't take it anymore. No, please stop.
right, right,
And but once we saw everything ready, it was like, yeah, we did it. And he's a great guy. He's a great singer. He's a great band member. He helps me a lot with other things besides singing, and it's great to work with him.
yeah, it's good to have band members like that when you guys can collaborate well. It just
Yeah,
makes for an even stronger product. And I think this, like I said, I think the fans that haven't heard it, this is one I would highly recommend, that they listen to. This is If this came out in '84, I mean, you wouldn't even know what to do. It'd blow up. That's how good it is. It's just,
thank you.
amazing. So, you know, let's get into the production aspect of this. We talked about it
Okay.
a little bit earlier and we touched on it. You get that great classic sound, like I said, and it's the big, robust sound. When you first listened to this and and you first got it together, what was it like, for you? Was this something that you said, wow, we really got this right and this is it,
It was just it. Like I said, we spent a lot of time in the studio. I believe it was 10 days only in vocals, and then I spent, I believe, around 5 days, 7 days recording guitars. We did it through this time. We wanted to do everything more analog way, in a more analog way, with real amps and real drums, and the whole thing.
right?
So when we heard it for the first time, we knew that it was all worthy,
Right.
that that all this work, all this hard work, this dedication, this time we invested, it was worthy.
See, that's good to hear. It came out great. I think, like I said, everybody that gets to hear it has a chance to hear it or hasn't heard it yet. Please get out and listen to it. Definitely great album. So you guys were formed in 2019, in Brazil, and I know there's a lot of big time metal fans down there, in Brazil. Tell us about the start of this band and how
Yeah.
you got came together.
So when the band started, like I said before, it was more like a solo project than a band. Actually, it's pretty fun how it started. For the first album, I remember I was taking guitar lessons with this teacher who also happened to be a music producer. And then I was learning guitar, and then I started to, write some riffs. And the first riff I did it was from the main riff from Dressed to Die, and I got this riff, and I came to this guy and said that I would like to trade our guitar lessons for recording sessions time, you know. And he accepted, he agreed, and then we started. I started to record the album. First was the single "Dressed to Die," uh, without no having not without nothing. I didn't have a singer. I didn't have any band member. I didn't even have you know the I didn't even know that it was ended up as an album. And I was writing the songs while I was recording, and that's how it started. After that, I met Bob, who was the first singer. We didn't even. I think, how can I say, we didn't even met once after the album was recorded, because we didn't live in the same city. It was all
Okay.
recorded remotely.
Yeah.
So it was a fun way to record it out. Something that only we could do in nowadays. You know, it wasn't it would be impossible to do that in the 80s, like bands used to do. But
Sure.
that's how the band started. And then after that, we released some singles in the internet, and then Bart Gabriel came to me and texted me, uh, saying that he was interested in release the album. So he released the album, and it was pretty good. Got a real cool feedback from it, and then I started to think about playing live, and then I needed to find another band members and stuff, and it took me a while, but I when I did it, I knew these were the guys, and we are together
Yeah.
since then.
That's cool. That's a cool story. Yeah, you could tell. I mean, even though the band really hasn't been together that long, but you guys sound, I mean, mega tight. You could tell that it was like a nice fit, nice transition. And everybody plays very well together. It seems like you feed off of each other well.
Yeah, I think one thing that happens that help us in that is that we are big friends. You know,
Right.
we really like each other, and of course the guys are really good musicians. Mark, Rick, and CJ, they are great musicians, and but we are really close. You know, we are real friends. So that thing, it helps us a lot to us.
It definitely does. When you listen to it, you could tell, like I said, that tightness, and it's good. And it helps you to work together a lot easier when you guys are friends. I mean, there's no
Yeah,
strain, not any pressure. You just go in
yeah,
and do what you do. You definitely do what you do. It's good stuff. You know, you're a big fan of metal. I read the press release, and obviously I'm into Dokken tour shirt, which I
yeah.
love. That's awesome. Tell us about some of the influences. Obviously Dokken, and I know Judas Priest, and I read one that was really cool in the press release is Boston, who I
Yeah,
absolutely love. I mean, you guys tied in, the harmonies into this album so well with all those great bands. Tell us about some of your influences and how it kind of like, came into being what Creatures produces today.
okay. So about the instrumental part, I would say I really like that 80s heavy metal hard rock vibe, you know, like oops, like
Nope.
Dawkins and Rats, Judas Priest. But I'm a really big fan of vocal harmonies as well, and I really like the some 70s band who did it very well, like Boston, Kansas, and uh, well, there's more I can't remember right now, but you know what? Foreigner, it's a
Yeah.
great band
Warner, for
too.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like the vocal lines, the vocal harmonies that influences me a lot. And as a guitar player, I really like also Willie John Roth from Scorpions, and
Cool.
I'm a big fan of Yngwie Malmsteen as a guitar player and as a songwriter too. I believe that he also brings that dynamics into his songs. You know, like in the same album, you got a power ballad, a ballad, and then you got a real fast, heavy song. I like that. I like that dynamic thing.
It's great to hear it too, and you did it so well in this. I mean,
Thank
that's
you.
cool that you brought up Ingve too. I mean, Ingve's like, he's one of those guys that, you either like him or you don't. There's a lot of people that don't, because they talk about, attitude and stuff. But I mean, the guy's a great guitar player, but you mentioned it right there, a great, great songwriter. And he doesn't,
Yeah,
people don't point
I
that
think
out
that
enough.
yeah, people seem to forget about it. I believe most people knows only his guitar stuff and his instrumental songs, and they forget his early albums. You know, Marching Out and Trilogy, Odyssey. That those are great albums, are great heavy metal, hard rock albums. You know, there
Right.
are great songs in there. I'm a big fan of these albums.
And you tied all these influences together in this band too. I know when
Yeah,
people, like,
I believe this is one of the the great things, you know, it's to pick all these influences and turn into one thing. You know, it's not like copying one exactly thing. Like I'm a big fan of Dawkins. I that influences me, but it's not just Dawkins. You know, there's
right.
Dawkins, there's Ingve, there is Boston, there is Foreigner, and you pick that all and put it together, and you know you create your own thing.
And you did it too, for sure. I mean, you hear those influences, but you got, when you hear this album, and I know people is eventually when you guys start going further in your careers and bring out more music, you're going to have that signature where they say, hey, this is Creatures. We know what these guys sound like.
I hope that
Yeah, I think you guys
that
you're definitely going the right direction, man. Believe me.
thank you.
Hey, this album came out on who I think is an exceptional record label right now. Um, I get to interview a lot of bands from High Roller. Um, I work with Wings of Steel, who, they put
Great
their
band
stuff.
too.
Yeah, they are a great band, great bunch of guys. Tell us about what it's like working with High Roller, because I think what's cool is they don't sell out. They have that good, 80s style. They bring out the bands, that have that classic sound, but they really seem to support well. It's a fantastic record label, start to finish with all those great bands. What's it like working with High Roller?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's been very good. They are, like you said, they are very supportive. They help me a lot with a lot of things, not only the record itself, but it's really good for me in particular. It's like a dream come true. You know, I use it here in Brazil. You know, here it seems like we are so far from Europe and things that are happening there, like the bands, and to be a classic heavy metal band from Brazil that reached out a label like High Roller is something that make me very proud, you know, and make me very happy because I when I was younger and I wanted to buy all the records they were releasing like Ambush and Little Steel, Cruel
Right.
Force and bands like that, you know. And
Oh,
when I
good stuff.
first picked my vinyl with their label on it, you know, their logo on it, I was whoa, that's sick, you know. I used it to buy these records and now I have my one, you know.
That's great. Yeah, that's great when you're listening to that, and you get to say, "Hey, look, this is what we did," and they're supporting you.
Yeah,
So you have a label like that supporting you guys.
yeah.
You're
The
definitely.
guys are really great.
That's great to
They're
hear.
really great.
Great to hear. Great to hear. I'm happy for you guys, man. Believe me. So
Thank you.
all the great musicians, they do things to keep their chops fresh. And I like your sound. I like the tone that you have. And obviously the flying V. It
All
sounds
right.
awesome across. Start to finish. Is there anything that you do to keep your chops fresh? I mean, is it something hey, I go in and practice a lot, or is it more just like, hey, I already have the flow here. I just kind of jump in.
Oh, I don't. Honestly, I don't think that no one ever works like that. I believe you got to practice. You got to, get the guitar in your hands or whatever you're playing or singing, and practice a lot. I try to pick the guitar all the time I can. Of course, with other things in life like relation and ships and a job and all these things. You can't do it all the time you would like to, but I try to play guitar whatever I can, whenever I can.
That's really cool to hear. It's you talked earlier about, you know, you guys are a young band, and it's great to hear, a young band taking those steps. I know this is obviously the second album, but you can see that, as myself as a listener, as an avid listener, I could just see you guys, going really far with this. I think the
I
band is
hope you're
tight,
right.
is tight, but you stick with it, man. You're doing it right. Doing it right. So
Thank you.
is it when you look back over, what you've done so far, obviously coming up as a kid, you like this music and the writing here. What are, maybe a few things, to when you got to this point now, obviously that you're most proud of? I know you said having, High Roller on the album, supporting and things like that. So what's some of the things that, that you say, man, I'm really proud that I got this far and I've done this?
I think that getting your music released is something that I'm really proud of because, like I said, it's not easy to do it. It demands a lot of time, a lot of dedication, a lot of work. And sometimes you just, had to balance it with your whole life. And it seems that, it's just getting harder and harder. So I'm really proud that we can do it. We put a lot of work in it and we could release I believe all music that I wrote till now was released by a label before High Roller, and now with High Roller, of course it's way better. It makes me prouder, but I believe that it's something I'm proud of, of keeping and no giving up, even when things are just getting harder and stuff. I mean, there's a song in the album who talks really about that. I don't know if you heard Dreams. It's really about it. It's about having
Oh,
that feeling that you're always like fighting a battle and you can't give up. You can't surrender. You need to keep doing because what we that's what makes sense in life.
that's right. That's right. There's no doubt about that. So how about, now that the album's out, and people have a chance to hear it and everything, what about any live shows or anything? What's the next step for Creatures in the band? What do you guys have planned for the rest of this year and even into 2026?
Well, this year we remain without playing, but soon in 2026 we'll do two gigs with Enforcer here in my hometown Curitiba and in São
Cool.
Paulo too. And then soon I can give it more informations, but we have already even released. We will do an European tour for the first time, which is something I'm actually really proud to.
Awesome.
It's a dream, It's something that it's seen so far, and now it's up in front of us.
That's cool. I'm happy for you, man. That's great to hear. That's great to hear. And you guys will be perfect in Europe too. They're gonna eat this up when they hear it and they get to see
I
you live.
hope it.
I mean, I'm sure.
I hope so.
So, how about any last words, Mateus? I mean, obviously we talked about the new album, Creatures 2, which everybody needs to hear it. Everybody that's listening and to hear this interview, this album is stellar. If you like 80s hard rock, 80s metal, these guys have totally nailed it. It's a young band, so there's so much more that we get to hear coming down the road. So, how about any last words? Where can people get the album? Where can people connect with you guys? Website, anything like that?
Well, we just build a website and people, but I believe it's also it's more for people from Brazil. You know, it's kind of really hard to send things outside the country now because with taxes and
For
fees.
sure.
But people can order the vinyl and the CD at the High Roller Shop from Europe. From US, I still don't know. It's kind of really hard. Things are really hard now. The fees are
Right.
insanely high. So I don't know how someone from the US could pick the album, but you can contact us on or on our Instagram or Facebook. You know, Creatures Heavy Metal in all.
That's awesome. I saw you guys have T-shirts and everything too, so I gotta
Yeah, we
see if
just did it.
I could order one. That's cool. But
Cool.
Mateus, I want to say thank you for joining the show, talking to Fastlane. And the last thing I want to say is, man, thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for making that commitment. Like you said, it takes a lot of work, and being an artist, like yourself, is dedication, man. It means a lot to me, to my fans and the people I deal with, to say, hey, this is my music, and I'm going to support
Yeah.
these guys. But thank you for making that happen, man. I mean, honestly, from my heart.
I'm the one who thank you for inviting me and for saying these things. It really means a lot. You know, like we already said, we got to put a lot of dedication and work and got this response. It's what really keeps us doing what we are doing. It get us motivated to keep doing that.
I'm glad you're doing it, man. So keep
Thank you.
doing it. Everybody that's listening,
Thank you.
Creatures 2, jump on Facebook, look these guys up. Reach out to them. You get that album, get on Spotify, get on the streaming sites, listen to it, spread the word, and I'll be spreading the word here. I appreciate it,
Thank you
Mateus.
very much. Thank you very much.
Best of luck with the album, and anytime you guys are doing anything, you have an open invite to the show.
Thank
Just
you.
reach, man.
That's really it means a lot to me.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Mateus. Good luck and have a great rest of the day.
Same to you. Thank you.